Further Zodiac messages. April 1970 letter and card. Zodiac continued to communicate with authorities for the remainder of 1970 via letters and greeting cards to the press. In a letter postmarked April 20, 1970, he wrote, "My name is under..." followed by a 13-character cipher that has not been solved to this day. 141. He also said he was not responsible for the recent bombing of the SFPD's police station in Golden Gate Park, which killed Sergeant Brian McDonnell, but added, "There is more glory to killing a cop than a sick because a cop can shoot back." The letter included a diagram of a bomb the Zodiac claimed that he would use to blow up a school bus. At the bottom of the diagram he wrote, =10, SFPD =0. On a greeting card to the Chronicle postmarked April 28, 1970, the Zodiac wrote, "I hope you enjoy yourselves when I have my blast," followed by the killer's cross-circle signature. On the back of the card, the Zodiac threatened to use the bus bomb soon unless the newspaper published the full details that he had written. He also wanted to start seeing people wearing some nice Zodiac butons sick. June 1970 letter and map. In a letter postmarked June 26, 1970, the Zodiac stated that he was upset that he did not see people wearing Zodiac buttons, writing, "I shot a man sitting in a parked car with a .38. The Zodiac was possibly referring to the murder of SFPD Sergeant Richard Radtick, who was killed 1 week earlier after being shot through the window of his squad car by an unidentified gunman during a routine traffic stop. The SFPD denies that the Zodiac was involved in Radtick's death. The murder remains unsolved. Included with the letter was a Phillips 66 road map of the San Francisco Bay Area. On the image of Mount Diablo, the Zodiac had drawn a cross circle similar to those from previous correspondence. At the top of the cross circle he placed a 0, a 3, 6, and a 9. The accompanying instructions stated that the 0 was to be set to mag. N. The letter also included a 32-letter cipher that the killer claimed would, in conjunction with the code, lead to the location of a bomb that he had buried and set to detonate in the fall. The cipher was never decoded, and the alleged bomb was never located. July 1970 letters. In a letter postmarked July 24, 1970, the Zodiac took credit for the Kathleen Johns abduction for months after the incident. In a July 26, 1970 letter, the Zodiac paraphrased a song from the Mikado, adding his own lyrics about making a little list of the ways in which he planned to torture his slaves in Paradise Sick. The letter was signed with a large, exaggerated cross-circle symbol and a new score, =13 SFPD =0, 149. Final note at the bottom of the letter stated, P.S. The MT Diablo code concerns radians plus #inches along the radians. In 1981, a close examination of the radian hint by Zodiac researcher Gareth Penn led to the discovery that a radian angle, when placed over the map per Zodiac's instructions, pointed to the locations of 2 Zodiac attacks. October 1970 cards. On October 7, 1970, the Chronicle received a 3x5-inch, 7.6 cm by 12.7 cm, card nicknamed the 13-hole punch card, signed by the Zodiac with the symbol and a small cross reportedly drawn with blood. The card's message was formed by pasting words and letters from an edition of the Chronicle, and 13 holes were punched across the card. Inspectors Armstrong and Tashi agreed that it was highly probable that the card had been sent by the Zodiac. On October 27, 1970, Avery received a Halloween card, nicknamed as such, signed with the letter Z and the Zodiac's cross-circle symbol. Handwritten inside the card was the note, "Peekaboo, you are doomed." The threat was taken seriously and was the subject of a front-page story in the Chronicle. The phrase 14 in the letter was interpreted as a possible reference to a 14th victim. Avery started packing a pistol, while Chronicle reporters jokingly started wearing buttons saying, "I am not Avery." Soon after receiving the letter, Avery received an anonymous letter alerting him to the similarities between the Zodiac's activities and the unsolved Bates murder in Riverside. March 1971 letter. In the March 13, 1971 letter to the Los Angeles Times, the Zodiac criticized that the police were unable to catch him, saying he had killed 17 victims. Zodiac expert Tom Voigt theorizes that the reason why the letter was postmarked from Pleasanton instead of San Francisco was for the joke of having an unpleasant letter come from Pleasanton. Final Zodiac letter. After the Lake Tahoe card, The Zodiac remained silent for nearly 3 years. The Chronicle then received a letter from the Zodiac, postmarked January 29, 1974, which complained that columnist Count Marco needed to feel superior to everyone, and praised the film The Exorcist, 1973, as the best satirical comedy that I have ever seen. The letter included a snippet of verse from the Mikado, and an unusual symbol at the bottom that has remained unexplained by researchers. Zodiac concluded the letter with a new score: Me equals 37, SFPD equals 0. David Van Nuys, who is also a psychiatrist, believes the reason the Zodiac stopped killing is because he had a case of multiple personality disorder which lessened over time, as with many people who have the disorder, noting that the subsequent Zodiac letters lessened in intensity.